And we're back for game number 2 in this best of 3, but with a twist, guys. VPpolar, unfortunately, will not be playing with Mag. They've had to use a stand-in as his internet woes continue. So it'll be Come With Me standing in for the team, already trailing 0-1 in the best of 3. And with that said, the draft's well underway. I'm LD. I'm joined here by KOTLguy. Dakota, they gave away the Tiny Wisp again. They decide we can deal with it. We just need to game plan better against it and have a player who doesn't disconnect. We're going to find out if that's the case real soon.
Yeah, this is looking pretty similar to the last game from both sides. Another Vengeful Spirit Ember for Virtus Pro. This time Empire going to pick up the puck for themselves. But yeah, it's even funny to see Empire. I guess it's like, well, if we got a good thing going, might as well just do it again. But pulling out the Tiny Wisp combo back-to-back, it's like, well, Virtus Pro should expect what the game plan could be here from Empire, but we'll see if it'll pay off for them. So as we already progress, this draft has been flying through. The game started so abruptly, it caught us both off guard. But here we go. Dazzle again. I mean, what else is there? Why not a Tide? Why not just a Bristle? We'll just keep the same thing happening.
Yeah, there's 3 of the same heroes from last game. You could see the idea behind the draft, and I think it was a sound idea. Looking back at that game, there was a lot of misplays. Illidan going deep for the first blood against the Wisp mid, not respecting the super early bottle because the Wisp got a bounty rune at the 0-minute mark, gives up the kill there. Then the other death where he stuck around, the toss killed him off, and the puck was disconnected for half the game. It felt like if those things didn't happen, it could have been a very different game, but it's literally looking identical thus far, aside from the puck being on the side of Empire. It's pretty much the same draft.
They're like, oh, well, we this time we'll have a fifth who is not going to be DCing a lot, so we'll feel a bit more confident going into this one. But yeah, Axe again. This is silly. Maybe Empire just that confident, like, yeah, we did it once, we'll just do it again. No big deal. So with that said, why don't we just get the Tide and have the offlane set up? For Virtus Pro, though, if you're seeing that Empire is going to be going the same lineup again, what can you do this time around to help out? Jesus Christ, are you...
Team Empire's turn to ban.
Are you kidding me right now? Bristleback, gonna be picked up. I wonder if he's going mid again.
Yeah, this is... I guess this is almost getting to the point of being stubborn. Although, again, I still think it was a solid draft. So let's see how it works out. There won't be a Tide Hunter this game for Empire, so their team fight not quite as overwhelming, but... It's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a draft this similar. I've seen, you'll see oh yeah, we'll give away Tiny Wisp again, but then we'll do something different to counter it. Or, we'll give away one hero, but we'll ban out its partner in crime. And this is the exact same thing. They banned the Skyrat, though, so Empire will have to go for a different support.
Team Empire's turn to pick.
Yeah, so if you're not going to have access to the Tide, which they ban out themselves, I guess there's always the Horse God. Centaur is still available in the pool if they want to grab it. And, yeah, I mean, even someone like a Timbersaw. I feel like I haven't seen a Timbersaw in so long, and he fits with this Empire blitzy, big fat boy kind of a lineup they seem to be rolling with as of recent. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. Do you have any wages on what could work best for getting something set up in the off lane that could add to this Empire punch?
5 seconds remaining.
I think they need a support here because they're not going to run the support axe. So
it's yeah. I'm sorry, I just blew past the fact that they actually had the puck. I think I was getting too caught up that they had the same lineup from last game.
I'm just assuming the puck's on VPpolar side because it looked like they were going to run the exact same 5
exactly.
heroes. It will be something different for them.
I love Disruptor. I think he's just a fantastic hero. For a while, it seemed like he was a very niche pick during the reign of when Tinker was like a nuisance. Disruptor was right there to help out with the glimpse. He's good going against the Wisp. This time they're not going to have the luxury of picking it up going against. They're going to have it on their own side. And of course, his silence is just so dramatic, and it works beautifully against someone like Ember Spirit. If he gets caught out with that Static Storm, he's going to be stuck in a prison of death. It's absolutely ridiculous. If this guy actually manages to throw together an Aghanim Scepter, I would put it up as it's one of the best ultimates in the game. It's like an AoE Doom. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he also gives them a good hero to kind of shut down the Ember Spirit, as you were touching on. I think that's big. Also having this instant silence versus dazzle can be good. They don't have perfect setup for the Disruptor, but Axe is pretty good, Puck is pretty good, and Tiny's all right. So I think between those 3 decent ways to set up for a good Kinetic Field Static Storm, they should be able to hit it. It's a nice pick. It just limits the ways that Dazzle can be active in the fights. Venge may struggle to find those defensive swaps, especially when it's level 1. And it's what's available. I think you'd rather have the Skywrath just for the reliable axe kills, but He's not out there. So VPpolar, 5th pick for them. They need a little more lockdown and control, I feel like. They've got their Ember Bristle. Looking at another core, what's it going to be? We saw the Bristle mid last game, the Ember safe. They could go for some sort of off-lane initiator. Not sure with Come With Me in the draft, if he's just going to be taking over for Mag's role or if they look to change things up. Aha! They go for the Night Stalker. This has been a very popular hero in CIS Dota. It was banned a lot in the America qualifiers, but it was not actually picked at all. I think I saw it one game the entire way, even though it was first phase banned quite a few times.
Yeah, he received a nice couple of buffs in this recent patch, and a lot of teams have really been utilizing it from, well, all regions. So I think it suits the style here very, very well. For a team that's looking to find pickoffs, make relocate kind of a plays, being caught in the dark is something that could really, restrict your access on being able to find those opportunities to get quick grabs like they did previously. So I think it's a really good grab here, and they're already going to be giving it to Come With Me, their new fill-in here. So no pressure to Mr. Come With Me coming into the middle of a series where potentially Empire could knock down VPpolar into the lower bracket, but hopefully he's able to shake this one up, be ready to go, and maybe they can bounce on back, because otherwise it's match point here for Empire.
It's really annoying to play against Darkness now with the 675 vision range, even affecting wards. Normally you just like kind of hang back near your towers, drop wards in areas you wanted to go, and then even though it's nighttime with Darkness, you still had good vision in the old patch. But now you basically see nothing. And then on top of that, if he gets the Egg's Gem, the map starts to feel very sparse. So this is all contingent on the snowball. That's the scary thing with Night Stalker. You run this hero, can completely take over a game or quickly fall into irrelevance just because he's not a great natural flash farmer, doesn't have AoE, doesn't have excellent wave clear, normally spends a lot of time ganking. It fits CIS Dota, though. An aggressive ganker, someone who can face rush you, as you were touching on earlier, and I think it synergizes well with the draft overall.
And the thing is there's still always that pressure for someone like a Night Stalker. You want to make sure you get a lot done with each of those night times, especially the first one. And I know there was that change, not in the recent patch history, but before, where the nighttime comes just a bit sooner. So you're not quite as online as you'd like to be. So getting the job done becomes a bit more difficult, but he is able to capitalize on it. I can't remember who did the math, but with the new night cycles and it not being paused once he does cast it, there is potential that at level 16 you can make it so there's only about a minute and a half of daylight total if you're able to time it out appropriately. So that could be devastating to someone like Empire if they really count on having that extra bit of vision.
Yeah, it's more often than not that the ultimate's up, even when it's daytime. So you've got 50 seconds duration, 80-second cooldown at level 3. The majority of the time, even when it's technically day, is effectively it's night, because he's just spamming the darkness. Well, maybe not spamming, but has it ready to go. So something to keep in mind is if he gets to level 16, map gets a lot trickier for Empire. But there's a long way to go before that, and Dakota, with that said, we're going to change things up here. I'll introduce Empire, and you can do VPpolar. Yoki will be your axe in the offlane. Aloha Dance on the Wisp, already breaking down some trees. Resolution, again, on the Tony, that puts Silent onto the puck, and it will always want to fly playing your Disruptor. So, as mentioned, generally Silent the one-position player, but when they run this Tiny Wisp, they like Resolution on the Tiny a bit better.
And on Radiant's side, scouting out this top first bounty rune. Looks like tension's already high. Could be a 3-on-3. Before we get to intros, we'll see if any blood's going to be shed early. Looks like they're going to try to focus fire. Always want to fly, but he will walk away. Come With Me, their new fill-in for Mag, who's having internet troubles, is going to be playing your Night Stalker. It looks like Illidan is going to do a repris of his role onto the Bristleback in the mid lane. Lil Hardy here is going to be the support Dazzle. Along the bottom lane, we've got DK Phobos also going to be revisiting his Ember Spirit, and FNG also revisiting the Vengeful Spirit support.
So they'll run the Night Stalker solo offlane. I didn't actually get to watch the Night Stalker games they ran, so I'm not sure if they were running it mid or offlane. I think it was... was it Mag who played it? Yeah, Mag played
Puck
one
offlane?
NS game, so...
One NS game.
I'm guessing they probably did run it offlane, since that's normally the lane that he gets to. It gets to dual lane, should do okay. It is 2 ranged heroes, though, so he's not going to have a great time. With the Stout Shield, even with the 5 base armor, already down to below half health. This is not an easy lane.
It looks like this time... Oh, they're making a big dive into the side shop right here. FNG trying to find that little nook to get away as Yoki now could
Don't
be
hit
in trouble
him.
here.
Don't hit him. He might spin.
If he spins, now he's spin. Step back stun. And they get it. Oh, man. Heads up play there from FNG. Luckily, no extra counter helixes to come out. This time, it's going to be VPpolar who strike first with the first blood.
Big kill there. And pushing it to the limit was FNG. Unfortunately for Axe, he has no great way to break that level 1 Flame Guard. Yeah, it's just 50 Magic Absorb. It's normally instantly broken. But unless you get Battle Hunger, you're not breaking that. And
I like how they changed things up in the mid lane a bit. They're going to have Lil Hardy be constantly now by the side of Illidan. Last time Illidan tried to roll by his solo and ended up getting caught out a couple of times going 0-3 at the start, but this time he's going to always have help here nearby. Lil Hardy hasn't leveled up Shallow Grave, but at least with the heal it could be more than enough. Top lane though, having a bit of a skirmish here. Always want to fly, getting pressured. Come With Me now might have gone too far. That kinetic field going to drop, he's going to lock him in place, and I think Come With Me,
He's got
gonna end
stick
up going
charges.
down here. Oh, he's going to get the void up, and he gets the kill before he drops.
oh my goodness, such aggressive play. Played it to the last second, saves the magic stick, then gets the void, and he could have gotten the disruptor kill there, but he goes for the slightly harder kill on the puck, and that's the big one to take. You slow down that puck blink dagger progression, and getting that kill in the offlane, just such a huge win for them.
Very good grab. And even for the unorthodox offlane Night Stalker, he's looking to make it count here, and he needs kills like that and pickoffs so that when the Knight does shed, he can get a lot done. Look at that. Lots of damage right there onto Always Want to Fly. Hitting with that little bit of extra burst. Back in mid lane, they continue to hustle it about as far as CS.
Bottom, the Spin
stun.
Lord, Yoki. Will he get one more? No, the chains come out. He's just not quite getting the dice rolls his way. There's no more stun, though, and they can't get in range for anything else. As you were mentioning, mid lane, a huge, just constant aggression from all lanes.
I know, it's getting hard to kind of keep track of everything. Woo, Resolution walks away barely. He was so close. He lived narrowly because of his magic stick previously to that, but oh man, this is getting pretty hot and heavy on all fronts. That's good. That makes for great Dota.
It does. It makes for violent Dota, and that's exactly what we look for in this European qualifier. I believe 6 CIS teams, and well, that's a lot more blood than what we used to get back when the Western European teams were a bit more dominant. I'm loving it.
Serious cut happening bottom lane from Yoki. Confident as ever. He just takes the creep wave into the small camp, and he's going to chop it all down. Nice little wealth of gold right there is going to secure his Tranquils for sure, and he'll waltz on away before anyone makes the rotation towards that bottom.
I like how Come With Me is just casually getting right-clicked by Always Want to Fly. It's like, I don't really care to go after you. I'm just going to stand here. He'll throw out an angry void and then back out. So
4 minutes, though.
He'll have that first nighttime coming fairly soon.
And so's the Rune. This is going to get interesting here. He's looking to go help babysit it out. The Illidan's already there on the scene, so he'll be able to grab it up for himself. Shouldn't be too much contention there. But yeah, so a bit of a bloodshed from both sides. VPpolar coming up just barely 1 notch ahead, but as the Knight does drop, we'll see if VPpolar continue to go on the assault here.
Was tethering back towards mid. The Bounty Rune wound up spawning bottom. But now that it's nighttime, Come With Me can play a lot more aggro in this top lane. If he sees the Disruptor being cute off in the trees, you just void him, run at him. He may not die, but he will have to use a lot of regen and possibly even go back to Fountain. Then you're in a 1v1 against Puck. You can play more aggressive there. It makes the lane so much easier once you have that first Knight to work with.
Now, you're not going to see Always Want to Fly get so cocky with his auto attacks here. But Come With Me is nearby. He is... Oh, there you go. He's like, second guessing, but with Silent nearby, they get a nice glimpse into a kinetic field. Come With Me.
He's just going to turn and go for a kill.
Get some damage. Big Void should be able to finish him off, and he does get it. Will he drop in exchange, though, to silence his puck? Yes, he will. Boop. Gets it right there, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade that does work out for the better of Empire mid lane. That means we got to have action elsewhere, right? They're making it go on to Resolution. They get it done with the Quill, and they're going to get another one. Aloha Dance, they make it a 2-for-1 special. Empire find a couple of kills themselves, or get killed themselves there, though, in the mid lane.
Amazing patience by FNG. He rotated mid a while ago, and he just sat here waiting until right before that 5-minute mark, because that's when you know the Wisp is going to be off-stacking the jungle. When it's the even number spawns, then, well, he'll probably be going for the runes, at least hoping to, although lately he's been unable to, but just excellent patience. They spring the trap the second that they know the Wisp is off in the jungle, and they get a quick kill. So just good movements overall here by VPpolar early as they look to bounce back and force that deciding game 3. This is the kind of start you need.
Radiant's
Come
top
with me.
tower
Looking to
is
make a
under
move on
attack.
to Silent there. Does Void get a couple auto attacks in, but there's always one to fly, has the kinetic field and even a glimpse if necessary. But for now, just dishing off a bit of extra harassment. Come with me, man. He's playing a very ballsy one. Meanwhile, the same moment, Vengeful Spirit going to get the pick off there onto Yoki. He'd been eyeballing there in the bottom lane for quite a while, and it looks like they were able to pounce and take him down.
This is not the same kind of game for the Axe as what we saw last game. Last game, I think it was like an 8-minute blink, Tranquil Boots. This time around, 2 deaths. It's not happening. Offlane Axe under a lot more pressure.
Well, it certainly helps that the puck on the other side was kind of having connection issues, and he was there to have the whole lane to work with for the majority of the time. So this time, Nas are not going to be so lucky with that. We got Come With Me here, who seems to be holding strong as far as connection.
Always want to fly. If Come With Me just stands near him for a little while, the glimpse back wasn't going to do anything, and he does exactly that. It's a midget glimpse back. That won't be enough. Run down by the Night Stalker. Another kill coming out. The off-lane Night Stalker, 3 and 2, but he's bullied both of these heroes off the lane now. Silent goes bottom instead, trying to set something up, but it's too late. TP back to the well by DK Phobos, and he even has a spirit to rejoin this bottom lane with full health, full mana. Now they look to even go mid. 3 heroes grouping up.
Empire maybe a bit overconfident here, trying to go with the same lineup. This time Virtus Pro know what to expect, and they're getting very aggressive in this one. While they continue to pressure out that mid lane, I feel like their lineup overall feels just a little bit stronger. Maybe just having that Night Stalker just adds that little bit of extra oomph to help with their Berserkerness. Oh, bottom lane coil going to be dropped on the Phobos. He is going to rend it away. Should be fine. And for the rest of Empire, here comes Come With Me, though. Making a move on to Silent, gets to Silent, onto Axe. And now they just kind of trade. Bit of footsie play. Aloha Dance is going to get changed, but he's tailors away from this one. There's the call out from Yoki. Gets a couple of chops in, but he's going to get stunned out. He's trying to go for the call. He gets it. Come With Me will get slammed on, and now FNG going to be pressured about. And this will be a second jam. Easy double kill right there for Yogi. He may have been struggling in the off lane, but he's going to get a couple of kills here. Now they're going to move on to Phobos. Jaunt forward, not going to happen. It looks like Phobos will be able to walk away.
That Axe pick, all of a sudden, right back in it. 2 and 2. Hits level 7. I was about to say the big difference this game has just been the off lane, but now it's pretty even. Night Stalker dying there, 3 and 3. Your Axe 2 and 2. Levels very similar. So looking elsewhere, farm's pretty even. It's just a dead even game all of a sudden.
FNG just simply TP's in, gets him with a stun and a wave, and now he's got to walk away, wounded as ever, but he's got those Tranquils and a little bit extra move speed. He'll just TP on home and he'll be fine.
Endless aggression.
It just doesn't stop. I'm trying to help out by keeping eyes everywhere where even you're not looking, just so that we can make sure we have accounted for most of the bloodshed that's been going on in this game.
Top lane. Diamond always wants fun.
Could be in
Just
trouble,
thinking.
but he just needs a bit of nuke damage. Now they glimpse him back, and there's your Static Storm drop. Here comes Resolution with the big combo. Stun, toss. Come With Me goes down.
He was just like a quarter of a second from getting that kill with the Void. That was very close.
Too close. But they got that
both
bit of
teams-
garlic.
Do you want to
That
mention
steak.
both teams have some stacks here? You've got Lil working on a stack. There hasn't been a ton from the
Radiant's
Tiny
top
Wisp because of that
tower is
one
under
death at the
attack.
5-minute mark, but seems like the Wisp has just been reluctant to go off to the woods, but there's a little bit here to clear for your Tony as well. It's the
one
economy
thing
game
we-
right now.
What's going on? First relocate. They're making it go on to FNG here, even Silent here, but with that toss, I think they're going to be able to secure this one and a stun. FNG does go down. Nice relocate coming out from both Aloha Dance and Resolution.
They'll journey back from whence they came, and in the meantime, Come With Me will get dove. No, maybe not fully. They want to go on him. This is the thing. While it's the daytime, that's where you really want to try and take the fight to the Night Stalker lineup. Play more aggressively, because when it's night, they generally are not able to take these kinds of fights.
Oh, by the rune here, we're going to see Illidan gets hit with the balls, even though he is invis. They might have an idea that something's going on there. They have the connect field to hold him in place. Meanwhile, Aloha Dance going to get chopped here from DK Phobos. He's going to be able to walk away. He will not. He gets burnt down from that flame guard. Now always want to fly. He gets swapped back just so he get close enough for the stun, but they get caught with a 4-man coil. Kinetic field. Static Storm drops. And here we go. Resolution moves forward. Phobos, though, returns with a double kill of his own, taking down both those supports. And Empire, they want to make sure they get a little bit extra blood. Resolution with the toss. Come with me. Oh,
Dunk,
the shallow
dunk.
grave. Not going to happen, but the dunk doesn't care about no shallow grave. Chops down Dracula, and now they move on to Lil Hardy. silencing him. They get another Yogi with a double dunk once more.
Oh man, that's just so visceral and satisfying. I love the dunks. This is pulling Empire right back into the game, and if they manage to take this one, they're only one best of 3 away from a trip to China. As Illidan TP's in mid. And we haven't seen that many Disruptor picks. It's still a pretty niche support pick right now. And you just get caught off guard sometimes. You forget you're playing against one, TP into the tower, wasted time. It doesn't lead to any huge catastrophic losses, but those little economic pieces of damage can add up quite a bit.
And it forces you also, it's just the Disruptor mind games where you have to second guess before you TP in, making sure you know where Disruptor is. The Glimpse AoE range at level 4 is absolutely out of control. You can easily hide out in the dark, and then the second the TP comes through, you just kind of show yourself like, yeah, you don't want to make that TP. You're going to want to go ahead and just kind of take back that 100 gold and get the hell out of your bottom lane. They're making it go into FNG once more. Swap does miss the stun, and now they're going on the Aloha dance, and they get him down. Resolution Desperation TP will be able to make it out, but I love that cheeky little play right there from FNG.
Meanwhile, top lane, come with me. Is he trapped, or is he about to turn this one and pick up some kills? I'm never really sure with this guy. For now, he's on the run. They do have a Glimpse ready if they want to use it. They're waiting a little while. Now the Glimpse, that's not very effective. These Glimpses have been very hot or cold, Dakota. He'll get dunked now, though, it looks like.
Chop. Can I get it? Oh, not going to happen. Silent, though, does pick up that kill. He's on a killing spree on his puck. Very nice, but yeah, the Glimpses have been a bit off with the timing. I know he had the Lightning Strike there. You can't time it out appropriately with the Lightning Strike just because it does happen to go off every second, but they have been a bit hot and cold, so we'll see as they
It can go both ways. You know, you pick the Disruptor, your opponents aren't used to playing against it, but it's one of those heroes where you get a little bit rusty with the exact timing of it, and well, not the biggest loss in that particular case, as they still end up getting the kill, but could cost them in the future. Something he'll need to be careful about, especially against the likes of, say, an Ember Spirit. That's a hero where you need to be very precise with your combo, or you're just not going to kill him.
Yeah, certainly.
And this Ember is starting to snowball. 4-0-2, your leader in net worth for VPpolar. They have good lockdown for him on the side of Empire, but they really need the Disruptor and the Axe to be on top of him to shut him down.
Yeah, Axe does throw together. He's got the Blink, he's got the Vipe Booster, he's starting to meet up a little bit, so when he does need to jump in and lock him in place for the easy setup, he'll be able to kind of take a few licks before he might even drop. So as they rotate towards this top lane, it looks like VPpolar are going to look to try to maybe get a start on some objective gaming here. Both teams, well, they got at least one tower has dropped, but VPro would love to at least get one of their own. Last game, they weren't the best kind of pushing lineup, and well, for this time, there's a lot of gold on the map you want to make sure you can kind of take advantage of here. So we'll see as they push in top lane. It looks like it's not going to be contested. Instead, could be a potential trade in the mid lane here for Empire.
Illidan and come with me, continuing to pound away on this tower. Resolution slow sieging mid, and it's just Silent pushing in bottom. He's got his Blink online as well on the puck, but when it's nighttime, you really have to think twice about TPing into defend towers. If you want to go for that, you need to start setting up way in advance, and they're just not going to bother. They'll give that one up. They don't get the trade yet.
They do the sleight of fist chain's not going to connect, unfortunately, but here we go. Toss combo, stacks one drop right on their head. Well, the swap out save from Phobos is going to be very, very nice. Glimpse, though, is going to send all the way back to top lane. Dazzle, and they're able to quickly finish out Phobos and take down Illidan. Make it another as they take down FNG. And look at this, Empire clean house easily and counter-initiate well against VPro.
Axe Dota. The way that these teams are playing, Axe almost feels broken. All these early fights, lots of melee heroes, people just constantly clumping up and diving. You get that one chop, and then the chase is on.
Oh, they cut off Come With Me, and it's going to be another quick and easy grab, even with a reload hit on top. Silent picks up that kill and pretty much almost makes it a 5-man clean kill. It was the tiniest relocate, but more than enough to get the job done. Followed up with a sweet objective, and when you thought VPpolar were well in ahead in the early game, Empire just kind of come right back into this one. Now 15-11. The top 3 net worth all belong to Empire.
And you get a lead with this lineup. You've got a Wisp who can continue to apply pressure, a Tiny who can farm and really use the gold as efficiently as possible behind it. Not a lineup you want to fall behind to. And VPpolar, on the flip side, the type of draft that doesn't excel at coming back. They're much more of a lineup that gets an early lead and just continues to push it. So trading like that and then just coming out flat out behind in fights, it puts them in a very difficult position. It's not like they're totally out of it by any stretch, but They need to start putting together some clean victories. They also have to keep on fighting. If they just let this Tiny Wisp go back to the jungle and farm, they'll be in a lot of trouble come 5-10 minutes, and you could see they realize it. They get aggressive with Illidan in front. He's going to charge onto Aloha Dance, but there's 5 Dire heroes waiting. Even at nighttime, this is a risky little chase. And they don't actually have all 5. DK Phobos is off bottom, so now they really need to back. Uh-oh, Glimpse is available. See ya, Illidan.
Silent jump, but yeah, they drop now. Static Storm right on top of Illidan, and there's going to be your toss combo. The swap back save with the shallow grave, though, and now it's going to be the return way. Yoki grabs a mega kill with the chop down right there onto Illidan, but it's a 2-for-1 trade here. Look at come with me. You're hiding under the shadow, and wow, quick rip from FNG, and they look to open up here onto Yoki, but he's a big bad boy. He's going to be hard to spank, so Yoki just blinks out and walks himself home. 2-for-2 trade. Still working
Man,
pretty
if they had
nicely
the
for
Ember
Qualifier.
Spirit in that fight, I feel like they would have gotten 4 or 5 kills. Tiny almost dies there. Axe drops to about half health.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Bristleback
attack.
did insane damage. They all grouped up around him. He kept on getting off the quills, and then the death quills nearly did them in. They lost the 2 supports just from that. And that's where Empire should be looking towards some plus armor items if possible. Maybe just getting some raw strength on, a bracer perhaps on Always Want to Fly, completing some treads on Aloha Dance, or even working towards like a halberd. They just need to tank up to survive that, because especially in the case of the Wisp, you're going to be in the middle of the fight, so you will take a lot of quill damage.
Yeah, Verse Pro have a very nice lineup for long-winded fights. More quills, more goo over time, more sleight of fist. Weave lasts better the longer it goes. You can tell that they're just a lineup that loves long-winded fights here. But DK Phobos to get caught out in silence. And he was there a moment ago, but not anymore. He just gets manhandled trying to do a little bit of a side farm. So good rotation. Empire continue with their very
come with
aggressive
me.
work here.
Looks like you might be next, my friend. Scout it up. I Always Want to Fly. They get the glimpse. Static Storm on the money. And now surrounded and gonna get chopped. Kaboom! Easy monster kill for Yoki. By the way, lest we forget, this guy started off 0-2 in the off lane. He's now 8-2-4, taking over game number 2.
That Axe Factor, man. Very, very good stuff. He's going for an Agnum Scepter here. It looks like he's got the point booster here. This guy loves to dunk. He's kind of lowering the hoop to make those dunks a bit easier.
He is. Maybe he's been doing some vertical jump training classes. I'm not
It's
sure.
like the elementary school basketball, hoops, where they're just like you could just reach up and put the ball in. That's what the Agnum Scepter does for an axe. He's just like, yeah, easy dunk here, easy dunk there, no problem.
This is where you want to do an HP pool check. How much health do these heroes have? FNG 890, your Dazzle 850, Ember 1100. Pretty tanky. Bristleback 1600, Nightstalker 1400. It sounds like a lot, but these heroes have been getting dunked all over the place before the egg. So then you think about it, and realistically, the supports are going to die to like 1 or 2 nukes and a chop. That's pretty much all it's going to take. The kill threshold 450 just from the level 2 Scepter ult, and it just gets so much worse when he manages to hit level 3 with that.
I love the hit TP top lane, and they have Illidan going first, but then fall immediately with a couple of others here. With the nighttime being dropped, come with me. They're looking to go for an assault here. Aloha Dance kind of distracting them a bit so they can't kind of pounce onto Resolution, allow them to get an escape plan or at least kind of meet up with the rest of his squad. And Virtus Pro, I think they make the smart choice. They don't want to go too far in. Well, as I say that, they're ready to kind of pounce once more. Silent, going to get caught with the Void here. Kinetic Field going to be dropped, kind of lock him away. Return fire now. Stun, toss, combo, come with me. Lockdown. No dunk going to be there, but more than enough to kind of get a 1-for-1 trade that works out better for Empire.
That was a nice Static Storm. Venge walking in, was looking for the swap, accidentally walked into range. I think he dies there anyway, but just a difficult spell to fight into. And so you get the level 2 swap. You don't have a ton of extra range to work with, especially if he's towards the far end of the Static Storm. Then things get really dicey. So again, a nice kill, and that's precious nighttime down the drain. The ult was even used, the darkness now wearing off, and well, it just clicks the regular Knight, but he's spending some of it dead, and so far the Nightstalker pick, he started off so hot, but now finds himself 4-9, and it's the scary thing about running this hero. You fall behind like this, you start dying, he just doesn't come back the way that other offlaners do. Tide can go farm Ancient Stacks, still be a hugely valuable force. Clockwork, you can be kind of useless food, but you still have the hook and cogs to disrupt team fights. Puck can at least be elusive and control the enemy, but if a Nightstalker falls behind, he offers very little to his team.
Not as much utility. He is a melee fighting kind of a hero, so you're forced to be in the mix if you want to really try to get involved, and you're kind of trying to get in the mix against someone like an Axe and a Tony, and you risk putting yourself into harm's way with a Coil, and it just feels once again the Empire of things more well-rounded. They feel very polished with how they kind of throw together this nice little team synergy. And for Polar, it just feels like it's not going to get any easier down the road unless, well, this Ember Spirit's able to throw together some really significant farm. He's still looking to throw together his Battle Fury to try to accelerate that farm a bit more, but they have a long way to go if they want to be able to catch up, because Empire also always have that kind of plan B push factor. You remember last game, very long-winded fight, but then you look over and you already lost a set of racks. That's just what Tiny does.
The trap may be sprung here momentarily. Silent just used his silence and orb, and he walks right into Come With Me. Gets the Yule Scepter off, but relocated Common. Uh-oh. Didn't bring reinforcements. The Coil now whiffed. This is a pretty bad defense, and it leaves Resolution alone top. Oh my goodness, not where he wants to be. Caught out and slain. What a costly mistake on the relocate.
The first one we've seen out from Aloha Dance in these 2 games, but a very costly one. It just hands over a free kill. Resolution, one of the prized fighters, and hopefully not going to look to make the same mistake again here. Meanwhile, mid lane, Yoki pretty far up, but no, back in the jungle, that's where it is. Aloha Dance, he's going to eat a bit of a booger, but he's able to walk on back.
And I was just about to mention how Tiny was pretty significantly ahead of Ember, but with that death, the Ember catches up a lot. This is that prime time where you've just completed Ags, can be easily clearing out big stacks in the woods. But not going to be the case, as Silent will now make a move. He's got the Blink Dagger Yules. We saw that Yules displayed earlier, and they want to head towards the mid lane, potentially make a go on the Night Stalker. They're in position now to strike, and they're poised, and the Yules will start this one off, maybe trying to save the Coil. They get the call, the dunk, chop, see ya.
FNG was like, maybe I can help. No, I cannot help. He immediately pulls back, but now they're both in trouble. Stackstorm on top of the head, so he's able to pull out the BKB, and now he puts his attention, always want to fly here. Disruptor slowly walking away, but huge damage. He just gets easily assaulted right there, and now they put their attention on the Bristle. Can they take him down here? Toss combo, and now one more right click gets it done. That swap not going to be there in time, and FNG now, they'll be in a bit of trouble here.
They have the Yules. Will they get vision in time? Oh, he's just late.
Even the call, but the blink wasn't there first.
Close call, and in the end, 2 cores down. They end up losing the Bristleback's 10-second BKB charge as well. Tiny survives through the fight, and any fight where you could say that, a good fight for Empire. Yeah, another 800 gold in his pockets now. He's starting to catch up.
For Phobos, who does throw together now the Battle Fury, and looks like just kind of that cookie cutter. Going to go for the the Chrysalis next, and here. Let's see, they're going to interject. Oh, they interrupt the stun. This is bad for Empire. They easily take down Aloha Dance. So nice quick pick right there for VPpolar.
Yeah, keeping that Wisp down always important. Was currently sitting on agility treads and using the bottle charges, but would have died regardless. The Night Stalker silence very potent for ganking that duo, because you just silence the Tiny and the Wisp just dies at that point. You void him, you have some follow-up nuke, he doesn't even have a chance to relocate or look to tether his way out. And the Tiny is, of course, helpless to counter-initiate. But they need to keep that pressure up. Keep on either at least killing the Wisp, ideally the Tiny, and do not let this turn into a pure farm war. Just mix your farming with some angry, violent pleasure.
Yeah. And while also being able to juggle that day and night cycle, and when is the right time to go or not. So here we go, rotate towards the top. They're going to quickly make an isolation silence. Oh, it's not going to be there in time. The quick remnant out from Phobos does save his life. They'll be back. And okay, Empire, maybe they look to just instead rotate all the way and finish out what they started here with this top tier 1 tower. It's already very, very low. Should make for a quick grab from them. Virtus.pro, they can go for their own swap. Mid lane, another very low tier 1 tower. It's just going to potentially be a 1-for-1 trade.
That's a pretty tough way to initiate on Ember. Yules, silence as the Yules end so that hopefully he can't remnant out, but you know the Ember's just sitting there spamming it, and it is an instant cast, so very difficult to pull that off. He could have gone for the Blink Silence and then hoped Disruptor got there in time with the Static Storm, but it just stops to try and do it alone, and it doesn't work out. They're going to make their move into Roche, so in good news, Puck has the full combo ready. Gonna try and get some vision on this. They get the long range swap. Does always want to fly. Will just casually deploy his ultimate to try and keep himself alive. Ends up going down, but they get some trades. Come With Me falling. Looking for more into the pit. They go into Illidan. His BKB about to wear off. Now he's vulnerable to the Tony. Or maybe he turns this. They get the coil, tossing him forward, out of the coil, breaking it in doing so, and they continue to man-fight their way through. Your Ember Spirit unable to get involved. The quills stack up. Illidan getting close, but chunked again by the dunk.
I love
Kaboom.
The toss dunk. It's like the lob from half court and the perfect lay-in. So
That's some Michael Jordan NBA hang time action. Or maybe even going farther back. That's some Sean Kemp windmill
I want to
action.
say John Stockton with the assist to Karl Malone who dunks it on in right there. Very, very good.
Literally from half court, just flying in at the hoop.
I want to say 90% of the audience is like, what are they talking about? Team sports?
Well, yeah, dude.
Sports ball?
It's 6 a.m. here. It's 9 a.m. on the East Coast,
probably,
right?
yeah.
So,
Like
all the
basketball.
Europeans are the ones watching right now, and many of them from CIS. So they are definitely scratching their heads and possibly shaking them as well.
Started with FNG swapping in Disruptor. Disruptor allowed to drop out his full ultimate. Kind of made things a bit haywire there for Virtus Pro because with the quick relocate in, it just, well, shit hit the fan pretty damn quick. And look at this, Virtus Pro, they smoke up and head right towards that Roche pit. They do manage to take it down. It is going to be Resolution who pockets that Aegis, and we'll have that extra bit of life. And Virtus Pro, they know it's too late. They pull on back, and now the tempo being controlled by Empire. They get the nice duels on Illidan. Pops the BKB and walks right out from that static storm. That might have been a waste of the static storm right there, but moving on in. Oh, quick remnant away from that stun, and now Resolution getting kind of in right here. Very, very slow with all these goos. Can't quite get a hold of anyone, and now Virtus Pro looking to converge and try to bring down the Behemoth, at least get his first life down. They do. Wisp drops. Yoki trying his best to kind of help out Resolution as he pops right back up, and now he will run away. Silent looking to turn this one around, and Bull jumps up to the high ground. Now Resolution gets a hold of FNG and easily takes him apart. Now come with me. Better be careful. That tree trunk can certainly do some huge damage. Yoki jumps right back on in, gets a nice call, but here we go. DK Phobos, huge sleight of fist, catches everyone, including the neutrals, and Resolution ends up dropping the second time, and they fall through.
What a bloody disaster for Empire. They end up losing 4 heroes. The Aegis as well. The Tiny dies this time. A 4,000 gold swing, 6,000 experience. Oh, mamma mia. That is not what they were looking for. And it goes back to something you were touching on earlier, Dakota, which is these longer fights really favor VPpolar. Static Storm, that's a drop it and you're done kind of spell. The Axe, if he gets a good blink initiation, then they start the fight 5v4. Otherwise, he's getting quilled constantly, nuked by the Dazzle. He's never going to get that blink off. The Puck just has the single coil to drop, and Tiny Wisp, your big relocate play, if they don't get it, then they really struggle. VPpolar just slowly but surely wearing them down over prolonged engagements and coming out on top.
And now you see they're able to follow through with a nice little objective. And I got to question a bit the initiation factor there. The Disruptor trying to catch out Illidan. You know he has the BKB. Maybe he's hoping like, oh, at least I'll force it out. Uh-oh, what's this? Over on the left-hand side, you can see Lil Hardy getting caught out with a relocate. It looks like he does the self-shallow grave, but kind of just delaying the inevitable as Silent is able to take him down. Wicked sick for him. Come With Me does come on through, but not going to be able to get a hold of anyone.
Yeah, still I think they're in okay shape, but we see the potential of this VPpolar draft. As the fight gets long, the Dazzle ultimate reaches its zenith. They can quickly bring down these supports. Always Want to Fly just flat out dies when Bristleback has BKB on. And that's with Illidan only having BKB Vanguard. Imagine if he has big items, tier 4 items. Then he's running at you and two-shotting you. That is... The Bristleback just proving to be a real problem for the Tiny Wisp, and it's just it's a nice matchup. One of the reasons why we're seeing a lot from VPpolar is if you pick someone that can survive that initial combo, Tiny loses a lot of his potency. Where he's really strong is when he just one-shots people with Avalanche Toss, 1 or 2 auto attacks, maybe gets a crit if he's got the Daedalus, and that just doesn't seem to be working against the Bristle, especially when he's got BKB anyway. He stands his ground, and they all slowly get whittled down over the prolonged tough fight.
I'm not one to really critique the item builds up, of course, but Yoki also, I mean, going for the Aghanim Scepter. I mean, I love my dunks, but remember in the previous game, they went right for an early Assault Curios right away. Now, they do have one on Resolution, but getting the extra bit of armor, in the previous one, they got the Blade Mail, I believe it was, early, so they had so much extra durability there, which helps out these long-winded fights. And
yeah, they should be getting armor. The good news is now they are. Yoki's got a Plate Mail in the Axe, finally. And they also have picked up a Shiva's Guard on the Puck, so a pretty uncommon third item for Puck. More often, you'll see the Ags or the Scythe, and I really like that awareness from Empire. It's all physical damage from VPpolar at this point, and you stack up your armor, and with that, look to outlast them, or at least survive longer against the right clicks and the quills. So yeah, I would say a good call there for sure. They're going to back off really far.
The nice thing is Empire do have that Plan B tiny rat side push factor, but I don't know if there's as easy of opportunities to go for it. Empire really need to make sure that if the skirmish does break out, that they have as many people involved as possible, because these fights seem to be really turning towards the VPpolar favor. So as they smoke up here, maybe looking to bait out Illidan into a relocate. If they make the jump onto him, they could quickly go for a counter initiation, but instead they'll just kind of waltz on forward. Both teams spreading the map from both sides, and looks like it's going to be a calm before the potential storm to come.
Tiny's been doing a lot of fighting. Ideally, when you get that Aegis, what you'd want to see from Resolution is he goes off and farms, and then when they relocate, it's just to get an easy kill or a tower, rather than getting forced into a 5-on-5 engagement, dying, losing your Aegis, dying again. It's the pace of the game has been great for pretty much every hero, like outside of the Tiny Wisp. Your Axe loves to constantly fight, same for the Puck. Disruptor's pretty good at it, and pretty much all of VPpolar like those constant engagements, but Tiny Wisp, they'd rather choose their spots very carefully and spend more time split pushing, and whether it's ratting or just finding pickoffs with relocate, but they might look for something now.
BKB. So he can't be glimpsed back, so good call there from Illidan, but now they're going to be in a bit of trouble here. Silent going to be caught out, obviously. Disruptor going to be taken down, and as you see Puck here trying to do a bit of a sidestep, is able to go towards the south side. Meanwhile, Resolution does siege and take down that tier 2 tower, so I guess a bit of space created for them to get it done. Resolution immediately TP to get on out of there, but there's a swap back. They're still going for Silent, and they tried to relocate save it. It's not going to be there in time, and that is going to allow for an easy takedown on this Wisp as well.
One by one, Dakota. They keep on getting picked off. That's where VPpolar are strongest. A lot of single target. Wisp will return. The Spirit Balls will explode, and fittingly will end Aloha Dance's fate. Seal it, rather, as he'll fall again. In good news, Tiny at least off farming. Makings of his next item inbound. It's the Crystallis coming out, but he's behind the enemy Bristleback, and at this stage of the game, you really should be ahead. It goes back to that Roche fight, losing the Aegis after it. So incredibly costly to the Tiny's economy.
Now we'll see VPpolar pushing in from this bottom lane here, looking to go for a tier 2 themselves. This team is feeling very confident that when they fight as 5 especially, that they have the upper hand. So they're happy to kind of build the pressure there. But they also have to make sure they have the ability to get the hell out of there if necessary. I know Illidan doesn't have a TP yet. Okay, that was an interesting glimpse. Just push them away from the tower, I suppose. But they do get it regardless. And what I was saying is they are going to push as a 5-man unit. They do need to make sure they have those TPs on hand, just in case Empire do try to do those cheeky side lane plays.
BKB by Ember. Not the most common Ember Spirit item, but when you're up against Disruptor and Puck, I think it's pretty well warranted. And even the tiny nuke damage, it's more than enough to chew through the Flame Guard and then still hit you for a solid like 300 damage or so. So if he gets the full combo. So
and it's not like Always Want to Fly is building enough farm to get an active Scepter anytime soon, unfortunately. So they don't really have an answer for all those BKBs.
That dream is pretty friggin' dead, I must say. That is a sad raptor.
Sometimes you'll see a Disruptor with another support. The other support's much more selfless, will be kind of that, ward bitch and all that, so it allows him to get a little bit extra farm, but both of them have been pretty selfless supports. Actually, Aloha Dance is the one that has more of the farm. Getting a Vlad's here. I love that build-up side by side with Tiny, but that, of course, will leave Disruptor with little to nothing to work with.
They're getting a lot of BKBs, and the thing is, Empire doesn't have that many answers for BKB. They have Tiny right-click, and they have Axe's Call. And that's basically it. No Aghanim Scepter on the Puck, nothing else really to speak of, and if they get Zerg rushed and they're not able to just wait out the BKBs, they just get run over in that fight. Bristleback can go toe-to-toe with the Tiny right now. If Tiny gets 6-slotted, that might not be the case, but at this stage, you just can't win that fight. I think there's a lot of pressure on Yoki to lock these heroes down while they're in BKB, and ideally just get them those quick kills. That's when they were winning the fights earlier. They just haven't had them recently. The fights go longer, heroes stay alive forever. Then the Tiny's Wisp is dead. He just gets focused while they just storm onto him, and somehow they have to find those cleaner initiations. But it's not easy when there's this many BKBs afoot.
Just tell that the body language is very different from Empire in this game as opposed to the last one. By this time, they'd probably cleared out those racks. They're ready to strut their stuff. They're finding picks all over the place and relocate ganks. This time, it's feeling like, maybe we should farm up a bit more. I don't feel like we have everything we should in our arsenal before we kind of go for any sort of engagement or push attempt. So it's feeling a bit more cautious coming out here from Empire. And for Virtus Pro, a bit more confidence as they got a lot more working for them here. Their Ember Spirit continues to build on up. That BKB still at a nice fresh 10 seconds. They've got near 1,700 gold on him. He can just kind of continue to bring in that extra bit of damage, and as long as these fights continue to get long-winded, he's happy to just dish out serious amounts of pain. So we'll see if Empire are going to have an answer, but for now it looks like it's VPpolar's game to kind of take.
Roche is up again. Empire decent at taking it thanks to the Tiny mainly. They could walk into the pit now. There is no Radiant Vision. They're actually, despite running the Night Stalker and it being nighttime, the map is quite dark for them. And normally it's the other way around.
They do have that gem on the Disruptor earlier. I don't know if they still have it kind of keyboard. Now Yoki getting harassed a little bit here. Looking to come in from behind. Come with me here. And Yoki might need to get saved, but the relocate does come in. Resolution Aloha Dance looking to kind of disrupt this party a little bit. And now the big spread coming out from Virtus Pro. There's no one to jump onto and really get a hold of here. It's kind of a scrambled mix here. Static's going to be dropped right in the middle, but that BKB is going to be popped. They make their way out. So Ilden gets a quick kill. Resolution, who's also caught out on his own, also drops here. And Virtus Pro have fantastic positioning in a lot of these fights.
What a sick play there by FNG. He swaps the Wisp out, or he swaps the Tiny out so that the tether breaks. So then the Wisp goes back bottom, not bringing the Tiny. And then the Tiny's just left helplessly there to die. That is some next level bench play. Now the level 3 swap online. VPpolar looking to force that deciding game 3 with some fantastic individual playmaking from their supports and just the bull rush. Up into the front door. The Axe was once the macho man of this region, but no longer the case. It's now the Bristle God, the Night Stalker, pushing on through the mid lane, looking for the melee Rex. They're going to get it too. And with that, the map, claustrophobia only begins to describe it. Aghanims could be the next pickup for your Night Stalker. Then they can look towards the gem for him. You're already down a lane of Rex, so the creeps are always going to push in. They got to make something happen soon.
Yeah, pressure's now on Empire to try to take this game back, but it's not looking good. Virtus Pro have just been very nicely spread, and that proves to be way too troublesome. Axe can't really get a big call off. Disruptor Static Storm is not as effective as it once was. Any prize target he wants to get a hold of is now just going to simply BKB and walk out and laugh. And you saw with the great swap plays right there, it's not like Tiny's going to be able to stay close with his Wisp friend. Speaking of Wisp, he's caught on his own. He's going to be manhandled there. And FNG gets a killing spree for himself on the little support Vengeful Spirit, and the Coil even going to be dropped right there. So now the Coil down, Virtus Pro are like, no problem. They can just continue to push the pace.
They're going to try and go into this Roche pit now. If they get the Aegis, you better believe they're going straight for a second lane of Rax. Will this be contested? Empire seem to want to. They move their Axe into position. Roche drops dangerously low, and Yoki prepares for the leap in. They go for a quick glimpse attempt here. Roche will end up falling. The orb comes through too late, and Bristleback, already seemingly unkillable, gets a secondary life to work with as DK Phobos will shut down Always Want to Fly mid, and Empire scurry back to the safety of their tier 4s. They are very close to being forced into a game 3.
That was a very nice sleight of fist grab in the dark even onto Disruptor right there from DK Phobos. And yeah, now with Aegis in hand, confident as ever, they strut their stuff right towards the top lane, and Empire, oh man, desperation mode. What do we do at this point to stop them? Bristleback getting a little too fat to jump in. Maybe they get a quick cut, but the BKB going to be popped, and now they turn back onto him, but doesn't stop Ilden from knocking on this tier 3. More of a trade and footsie play, but I don't think Empire are going to have an answer for this. They get a little bit of a stun there, but Ilden just kind of like, oh, nice little tickle. Not going to matter too much. Come with me. Where's he going? He's going to cut him off. Getting in their own fountain here.
Special tactics. That's purely space created for this middle lane, where Illidan goes blow for blow with Yoki. So far winning that man fight, and now BKB's on his first life. He is out of mana at this point, but just clubs him down, beats him with the mace. Phobos kept alive for now. He gets off an extra slight, then Remnants backwards. The BKB Grave combination, keep him in fighting shape. Always Want to Fly, gonna be next. That's 3 dead. This looks to be the end for Empire. They just can't deal with the Bristleback any longer. Resolution, not having the DPS necessary, will end up going down to be the final man to fall. He gets a few more crits off, and with that, a couple of extra kills almost coming their way, but only the Night Stalker to die. VPpolar, 2 lanes of Rax. They're in this one for the GG, and unless they get 5-man wiped here, Empire is going to be up against it the rest of the way. They still have Aegis on Illidan.
Yeah, and hopefully they're looking to pop that right here at least. Moving on in, Wisp has about 15 more seconds before he can look to relocate and get involved, but they are still on the chase for this one. This is going to be a long rundown. They do get the stun, the toss, 1 attack, 2 attack. It's the Bristleback, so it's like a back scratcher for now. Resolution's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore, and he pulls back.
After all that, he has to turn back. 80 health. They just couldn't finish the job. Oh my, that really hurts.
Rough.
Now they have to deal with Bristleback having 2 full lives and another item, Dakota. He's got 5,400 gold in the bank. Your Night Stalker up to 2,700. If you're VPpolar here, you just respawn, you collect your things, buy any road gear, and head straight down mid on your journey towards a game 3. This is... It's a tiny wisp, so you never count them out, but the thing is, if they want a base race, they have to fight through all the tier 3s. They can't even go for megas, and there's no exposed racks. It's a very difficult base race, even by tiny wisp standards.
Yeah, I have seen it done. It's been done before. You never really know with your tiny wisp on how hard they can really siege, but yeah, this is certainly a tall order to ask for from the side of Empire, but they're still holding strong, even down 2 sets of racks. They feel like there's still a window of opportunity here for them. Bottom lane, it was silent. Have to be careful here. Immediate blink back the second he sees Illidan there. But yeah, as long as they have this Aegis, it looks like Virtus Pro are going to be like, let's get to the bottom lane. Let's end this thing while we still have this extra life. And they're going to just start to go for a push, and this could be the last hurrah for Empire.
FNG with the blink force now on his bench. His effective closing distance is upwards of like close to 3,000 plus units. That is just absurd. This Venge can literally swap you from 2 screens away.
Dire's bottom tower
Ridiculous.
is under attack.
They're wrapping
Point
around though.
force swap. Uh-oh, here we go. Looking to come for the flank play. Silent. Not going to quite get a hold of anyone here. FNJ looking to hide over and above. And come with me. Drops the darkness. Always want to flank it. Silent. He can't even get his ultimate off. Resolution now right in the middle of the party here. Trying to burst down Come With Me. But Come With Me is more focused. Trying to take down this testing as he risk, and they get it. Empire, it looks like this could be the last hurrah. If they get to crumble and fall one by one, even Resolution going to get slashed down. DK Phobos with a double kill, and they have had enough. White flag raised. Empire go down, and we have a game number 3.
Brutal. It's been a bloody brutal game number 2. 34-39 the final score. Empire, it looked like they might have had it, but they take Roshan and then promptly lose 4 heroes and the Aegis, and they just... VPpolar never looked back. I look at this game, Dakota, and that was the turning point. There's really no debate about it. I wouldn't say they quite threw, but I would say they definitely could have won this game if that fight didn't happen.
Maybe
that's where it all fell apart.
A bit confidence from Empire to just simply try to roll back with a very, very similar lineup. We'll see if they feel just as confident, though, going into game number 3. I don't think we'll be seeing another Wisp, Tony, Bristle kind of a lineup, but really, who knows? Who knows?
You say that. Watch them just first pick Wisp, and it'll all come full circle at that point. All right, guys. With that said, of course, he's KOTLguy. You can follow him on Twitter at KOTLguy, myself at LDDota. But be sure to stick around because your deciding Game 3 is coming up next. The winner of this has a date with the Hellraisers, one of the hottest teams in Europe right now. Winner of that guaranteed a trip to China with a shot to be in the main event directly and not even have to play through the wildcard matches. We'll be right back. You're watching the Dota 2 Asia Championships. The European qualifiers continuing after...